There's a very obvious theme in the readings today, especially the reading from Kings, from 1 Kings about the prophet Elijah, and the gospel story. In both cases, someone apparently dead is restored to life again, and really to everything. The widow in Elijah is in the Elijah story is the same one that Elijah he had been living with them for about a year. It was the story, remember, when he first went to Zarephath. He has that beautiful encounter with this woman. She's out collecting wood. She's going to make a fire. She's got just enough flour, just enough oil for one more meal. And he says, "Give me something to eat." And she says, "Oh, my son and I, we got food for one meal, forget it. I'm going to fix this meal, and we're going to lay down and die." And Elijah said to her, "You go prepare that meal for us. For the jug of oil and the jar of flour will never go empty." She does, and it did not, neither ran out. And so it's been about a year in the story now, in the story of Elijah. He's been living there with them in their house. Poor widow. It's just how slow we are sometimes on the uptake. How can I identify this stuff that's going on around me that God is doing all the time? Can I see His hand in it? We sometimes call them God's spies or God's moments or God. Sometime when God really does reach out and you are very aware of it, of His presence there. How many of these things we miss. She misses who this is staying with her. It's Elijah, the prophet. Well, now he's sick, the boy, and about to die. And she blames him. She said, "Oh, you're some mighty prophet. You can't even do this. What did you do to God to make Him mad at me? That God's going to take my son away." And you heard the story. She's upset. Elijah goes in, takes the boy, prays over him, prays to God first. And through his prayers for the boy, he's restored to life. There is a widow in a little town called Nain. Nain is about 5 miles from Nazareth. It still exists today. The main road goes probably 100 yards or so off what would be the city gate, and you have to turn in. You can go right past Nain and not even see it if you were looking at the hills on the other side where all the caves are. That's where they were probably going to bury this widow's son. You have to come out of the city gate, and you would have to cross a little bridge, a little stream, and then you'd come to that main road, and then you have to keep going up into the hills. The hills are loaded with caves, and that's where they would have been doing their burial for this boy. And you can see Jesus probably going to Nazareth to Tiberias or someplace like that, and lo and behold, here comes a funeral procession. She gets her son raised to life too. I think the readings, this ordinary time is always a time of a lot of teaching about discipleship. So it's always asking me the question, what is this reading saying to me about my discipleship of Jesus? And we're in Luke this year, so we're doing the Lucan School, we call it. What is he saying to me through the readings about my following of Christ and about my exercise of my faith, practice of my faith, putting it into action into my life? What is he saying to me? What is he saying to you? Well, it's obviously asking the question, what's dead in me? What's dying in me? What's already gone? What's already in the tomb? And what's well on its way in my life to being in the tomb? It's asking all those kinds of questions. Because the one who stands on the other side of it, the one that Elijah prays to, and through whom that child is restored, and Jesus, the very Son of God, with this widow and her son, the one who stands on the other side is God. God who wants full life for these two boys, but also for their mothers, both widows. He has great compassion on them. He doesn't want this death thing. He wants to restore life and more abundant life. So even if I have some already, God always wants more for me and for you. He's always trying to come to us and go, knock, knock, here I am, come on. I've got a gift for you, I've got a blessing for you, I've got something for you. Our problem? Right over the head. Or blind eyes, we don't see it. Ears that don't hear. Eyes that can't see. And we miss grace after grace and gift after gift after gift that God wants to give to us. We blow opportunities to encounter him all over the place. So what's dying? What's dead already? What's buried already in us? You know, one of the things that the song we sang at the beginning that Ben picked out, Lord of all hopefulness. You know what the devil's greatest weapon is? Number one, his greatest weapon is discouragement, a loss of hope. If he can infect you and me that I can't change, I can't make any progress. I can't repair this thing that's broken. I can't fix this relationship. I can't get past this great big barrier, this big wall. I can't do this. I can't do that. He's won. All he has to do is discourage you and me from trying to change and trying to grow and trying to get over something, and he's done. If I'm discouraged and have no hope, he can take off. He can go bother you for a while instead of me. I'll work on her now. I'll work on him. Already got that one. He's done. We are. His greatest weapon is discouraging us that we can grow or that we can live this life that Christ tells us that we can live. That we really can do it. Difficult? Of course it's difficult. But we can do it. And little by little, slowly as it may come to us, until he comes and takes the final breath, we are in that process of being renewed and called to fuller and fuller and fuller life. And at the end, we go home to the fullness of that light. That's the awesome part of it. But we're supposed to be on the way all the time. So what's dead? What's dying? What's already buried? You have to answer that question. If you don't, you won't know where to look for the love and the grace and the blessings that He's trying to give you. He loves you.